All right, good evening. We've got just a minute or so to go and we'll get started. Hopefully you're gonna get ready to start learning how to tap your stress away. So if you can hear me and you can see me, if you can just raise your hand for a second, that would be awesome. Very good, thank you. All right. So hopefully everybody is staying healthy and safe. And before I get started here, I guess we'll just talk about a couple of things here. Remember that the best way to keep healthy during this time is to enhance your immune system. And how do we enhance our immune system? What we do is we upregulate it, and we do that physically, chemically, and emotionally. And as I've talked before, we've said how important it is to get adjustments, because the adjustments greatly increase your immune system. I've posted a bunch of different videos and things like that on our webpage at sopchak.com. We also have sent out a whole bunch of different emails, and if you haven't got those and you would like those, then you can get a hold of us either through Facebook or through our internet, our website page, or you can even just call us or email us. So calling is 440-352-0444, or emailing, you can email at concordwellness230@gmail. Chemically, you really want to stay away from bad foods, things like sugar, like alcohol, like processed starches, processed foods. Those are all bad things to downregulate your immune system. And, there's a whole bunch of different things. We look at vitamin C. If you take, again, on our website, if you go to the page that says, I think it says videos at the bottom, there's a couple of videos. We did one on COVID-19. We did one on if taking vitamins can kill you. Both very informative, and hopefully you'll get something out of that. Vitamin C, zinc, vitamin A, vitamin D, all really important for your immune system to boost it, to keep it strong, so that you can try to fight off any kind of viruses. Now realize here that, we've got 6 trillion cells in our body, 60 trillion bacteria in our body, and over 380 viruses in our body. So our body's already full of these things. And it just has to be with our immune system as to how well our immune system functions. So it looks like I'm ready to get going here. So today we're going to talk about the emotional part of relaxation. We're going to talk about tapping. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of emotional freedom technique, but it was started quite a few years ago by a guy named Gary Craig. And there's a guy named Nick Ortner now who does a thing called the tapping solution, which I'll give you a little bit more information on that at the end. They've got a free app that you can have for, I think it's for a month. And after that, if you want to keep it, I think it's $3.59 or something like that a month. So the question that we start with is, are you feeling overstressed, angry, sad, irritated? Are you just downright in a bad mood? Are you tired of being stuck in the house, or especially now, or with your life on hold? See, there's things that we can do, and we can change things. The first thing that we're going to talk about is giving you some ways to handle this at home. Okay, so emotional freedom technique is something that you can do on your own. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. It's simply something you can do at home. So what is emotional freedom technique? Well, Emotional freedom technique invites you to take charge of your own emotional healing. This is something that you can do for yourself. Uh-oh. Sorry, something just popped up on the computer. So emotional freedom technique is based on principles of acupuncture and acupressure. It has a lot to do with the different meridians, okay? And so you tap on these specific acupuncture or acupressure meridian points, and it helps you to reduce physical, chemicals, emotional stress, whether it's in the past or whether it's now. It's even helped people who have all kinds of fears, phobias. We've done it with people who have had pain, and it's helped them with their pain as well. So there's a lot of different things that you can use this for. Now, tapping utilizes the body's own energy meridian points, which I'm going to show you in a couple of seconds. And what you do is you're just stimulating. You're just going to tap on them. It's pretty simple. And it helps to enhance your body's healing energy and your healing power. So the more powerful that you can imagine. So here's the thing. Your body can handle we've been created in a way that allows us to function at a higher level than we even know. And we need to know how to tap into that. And our body is so powerful, our mind is so powerful, we don't even use most of it. But we are filled with this ability to handle things. And the tapping helps us to control some of that power. So if you're experiencing negative emotional states, or if you're angry or upset or fearful, if your brain just goes on alert, it goes, okay, wait, body's going to go into this full-blown fight-flight thing, and we need to do something about it. This is a technique that works really well. We've had teachers that have used it for their children. I have a teacher who we taught how to do this for her 4th grade kids, and they did better on their tests because they weren't freaking out about taking their tests. And so they did this before their tests in class, actually as a group. EFT can be used for pain relief, healing of childhood traumas, clearing limited financial beliefs, weight loss, body image, food cravings, fears, phobias, low self-esteem, anxiety, depression. It can be used for so many different things. Just about anything you can think of, you can use the tapping for. Now, the tapping is proving to be very powerful. And actually, they're doing a lot of research on it to be able to, and I'm going to show you some of that in a little bit, but these are the energy points that I was telling you about that you're going to be tapping on. I believe there's 9 of them, if I remember right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's 9 points, and there's actually 12 meridian channels, and you can do this on either side of the face, but I'm going to show you this in a little bit again too. So first, you have to have a setup statement. Now, this is just going to be a quick, brief way of doing this. You have this setup statement, and it says on here, even though I have whatever problem, I accept myself. I tend to use, I totally and completely accept myself. So you're going to be tapping somewhere around 7 times, somewhere in 6 to 8 on each one of those points as you say these different things out loud. And you're going to take a deep breath at the end. You're going to recheck the level. And this is just kind of a synopsis of it. Then you're going to start over again, depending on what's going on. Be prepared to be persistent, okay? In other words, you might have to do it a bunch of times, but I've used it when I was golfing. I've used it if I was going in to testify for a patient for their a personal injury case, for example. And you don't want to be holding up an x-ray and shaking or something like that, because you get a little nervous doing some of these things. And I would do the emotional freedom technique or the tapping beforehand, and I'd be totally fine. So it's something that you can use for a lot of different things. Now, there's 5 main steps here, and we're going to talk about those. But if you have more than one issue or fear or whatever is going on, here's what I'm going to tell you is that you can do this as many times as you want, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to continually drop the frequency or the intensity of that negative feeling. So first thing you have to do is you have to identify what the issue is. So I have on here that in order to do this technique for it to be effective, you first identify the issue or the fear that you have, and then you're going to focus on that point with some tapping. We're going to focus only one problem at a time, no matter how many you have, and we're going to do only one at a time. After you identify your main problem, you need to set a benchmark level. You need to know what intensity, how much does this bother me? And then you're going to be able to use that later on down the line in order to be able to tell you you know, how well you're moving along. So once you get this, this benchmark, you start the intensity, and then it, as I said, it tells you, I'm going ahead of myself here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this phrase that we're going to start beforehand, okay? And I'm going to do this with you. Hopefully you can see me well enough. I'm going to move this just a little bit so that you can see me a little better. And I'm going to show you how to do this. So first thing to do is you acknowledge the issue, you accept it yourself, despite the problem, you accept yourself. And so it goes something like this. Let's say you're afraid of spiders, or let's just go that one because that's a simple one. Anybody afraid of spiders? Raise your hand on the screen. Anybody afraid of spiders out there? No? Okay. All right. So anyways, so I'm just going to use this. Okay, somebody did. I'm going to say, here's what I want you to do. I want you to think right now, if you close your eyes, and I want you to picture a spider crawling right next to you. Let's say you've got your arm on the table and it's crawling on the table right next to you. On a scale of 0 to 10, how bad would that freak you out? How bad would you have an emotional reaction to that? Okay, let's say it's a 10, let's say it's an 8, let's start with a 10. Okay, so it's really bad. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna bang these points right here. These are called the karate chop points. It's one of the acupressure points. But what you're gonna do is you're just gonna hit your hands together here, and you're gonna repeat a phrase 3 different times. Now let me see if I'm going ahead of myself again here. Okay, so even though I'm afraid of spiders, I totally and completely accept myself. Even though I'm afraid of spiders, I totally and completely accept myself. Even though I'm afraid of spiders, I totally and completely accept myself. So we started off with this phrase saying, on a scale of 0 to 10, it was a 10. It really messed me up. And then we tapped and we said, even though I'm afraid, I accept myself. Okay. Now, on here on the example, it says, for example, if you have an issue with your mom being sick, you're not going to say, even though my mom's sick, I accept myself. You're going to say, even though I feel bad because my mom's sick, or I'm irritated, or I'm anxious, or I'm depressed, or whatever that is. That's how you would use something like that. But you want to set up that first statement to be something that helps you. Like if you're depressed, you could say, even though I'm feeling depressed, or even though I'm ticked off, or even though I'm angry, or I'm frustrated, or whatever it is, you can use that, and it will help to enhance how your body functions. And I'm going to go with that in a little second now. These are all the points, okay? And we're not going to sit there and go, okay, well, this is a small intestine, this is a bladder. We don't really care. All we want to do right now is understand that these meridian points on your body have an energy flow about them. And when they aren't functioning properly, when you don't have the right energy, or there's a blockage, then the energy doesn't flow, and it changes how your body functions and how you respond to different things. So as I said, we start with that karate chop. We say, even though I'm, afraid of spiders, I totally and completely accept myself. Now what we're going to do, after we set it up, we're going to start at different points, and we're going to say something that's shorter, like fear of spiders, okay, for example, and you're going to tap it like 7 times. You're going to start tapping right above your eyebrow, and you say, fear of spiders, 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 okay? And I should have given you all those on there. So here's what they are. So you start tapping above the eye, then you go to the side of the eye, then underneath the eye, then underneath the nose on the lip, then right on the chin, between the lip and the chin, and then you go right on your collarbone or your clavicle, right where it starts, right here, and then you go under your arm. Now, it doesn't really matter if you start on one side and then you don't have to do the same side. You can start on one side and then move to the other side. You could start on this side and go over here. You could stay on this side. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're hitting those energy points, that's what matters. So after you do the top of your head, then what you're going to do is you're going to take in a deep breath. Okay, so we said, even though I'm afraid of spiders, I totally and completely, I'm sorry, at this point we're saying fear of spiders. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take in a nice deep breath. all through your belly, and you're going to breathe in, and you're going to hold it for 4 seconds, and then you're going to blow it out. Now what I want you to do is, for those of you that have your hands raised, I want you to pay attention in your mind. Okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, how bad is that fear of spiders now? Where am I at now? Okay, so you're going to compare your results now. So let's say it's down to a 5. Okay, well, I'm picturing this spider here. Yeah, it's a 5. You know, I'm probably getting ready to just smack it. Okay, so what you're going to do now is you're going to repeat the whole process because you didn't get a 0. Okay, so let's say now we're going to go, even though I'm still afraid of spiders. Okay, so now what you're going to do, you're going to really enunciate that still, even though I'm still afraid of spiders, I totally and completely accept myself. Even though I'm still afraid of spiders, I totally and completely accept myself. Even though I'm still afraid of spiders, I totally and completely accept myself. Now we're going to go through that sequence again. Okay, top of the eye. Still fear of spiders. Still fear of spiders. Still fear of spiders. And you could say it a couple of times. You only really have to hit it about 7 times or so, but you can say it once, twice. Still fear of spiders. 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 Now you're going to take that deep breath in through your belly, not up in here. Hold it and slowly blow it out. Okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, where's it at now? And let's say it's down to a 3 or a 2. You could go through it again. If you find that you kind of get stuck, like I got down to a 5, and then I got down to a 3, and then I got down to a 2, and now I'm at a 2, and I'm still at a 2, and it still doesn't get through. I want you to reevaluate, what exactly is it? Is it really a fear of spiders? Or is it something different? Because sometimes to get you through that last part, you have to go, okay, it's not really that I'm afraid of the spiders. They're ugly, or they just, you know, they give me the willies or whatever. And so then you're going to go, even though spiders just freak me out, I totally and completely accept myself. Spiders freak out. Spiders freak out. And you're going to go through that whole sequence again. We already know it was a 2. And now we're going to go, okay, well, so where's it at now? And actually, in some cases, you have to look at that you've gone from a fear to, you know, like they just, you know, they give you the willies or whatever. You look at it, you go, okay, so on a scale of 0 to 10, how bad is that? And then go through that whole process and knock it down. And usually you can knock it down to 0. So it may take a few times, but you can do this with all kinds of different things. There's been studies where they've done this with war veterans who have PTSD. Okay, I remember watching a video of a guy who was in, I think it was in Vietnam, and he actually had to shoot a child because the kid was carrying a bomb and he wouldn't stop. And it really messed him up. And after he went through multiple different sessions of the tapping, he was like able to sleep again, and it really made a major change in his life. So within a month, participants receiving the EFT and the coaching sessions had significantly reduced their psychological stress. In addition, more than half of the EFT test group no longer fit the criteria for PTSD. So this is what I'm saying. It makes a change. Here's another one. Success stories of people with anxiety using EFT tapping as an alternative treatment. In 2016, they compared the effectiveness of using EFT tapping over the standard care options for anxiety symptoms. Okay, so the study concluded there was a significant decrease in the anxiety scores compared to the participants receiving other care. However, further research is needed to compare EFT with other cognitive therapies, but I'm going to show you another one right here. This is really cool. This was a study done by Church and Feinstein. And what they did was they measured the cortisol before and after. So what we know is that cortisol is a substance in our body that our adrenals release that really, when you are stressed out, your body releases a bunch of cortisol to try to help you to deal with it. Well, initially it's okay, and it helps reduce inflammation. But when it's happening for a long period of time, and you're stressed out for a period of time, then all that extra cortisol starts causing a breakdown in your body. That starts causing bigger problems. Well, this group, what they did was they broke this into 3 different groups. The first group had an hour of the tapping. The second group had an hour of psychotherapy. So they were talking to a psychologist. The third group didn't do anything. Okay, they had no treatment at all. And as I said, they tested the stress hormone cortisol before and after treatment. What they found was that first group that did the tapping, they had a 24% decrease in their cortisol. The average was 24%. Some had as much as 50%, but the second and third groups, they didn't show any kind of change at all. So this just gives you an idea that, hey, you know, like for example, the psychotherapy, and I'm not saying that it's no good, you know, seeing a psychologist or whatever, that definitely can help people, but it's not quick. It takes a long time. It's not something that happens right away, whereas the EFT is amazing in how fast it works. EFT is an alternative to acupressure, is an alternative acupressure therapy, and it helps to restore the balance of the disrupted energy. That was what I was telling you, okay? It's been authorized treatment for war veterans. We already talked about that. All right, so here's the thing. EFT or tapping is an amazing technique, and you can go onto your iPhones or your Google, your whichever you want. It's actually even do it on the computer, and you can get a free month. I think it's a month, it might be a week, I'm not sure, of tapping meditations. I went on it, and it asks you, you know, what kind of things do you want to deal with? So you can deal with, you know, stress or sleep, anxiety, financial issues. There's all kinds of different things that it helps you, gives you ideas or ways to tap in order to help reduce the stress and anxiety from these different, you know, feelings. You know, I mean, all the other fear that's out there about this virus that's going around, you know, that's another thing that could be done. So the tapping technique works really, really well. So right now, I'm going to see if anybody's got any questions. If you have any questions, there's a part that says Q&A. And let's see, I have to put my glasses on for this one, sorry. There's a place on your screen that says Q&A, and you can type a question in if you would like. I don't know any other way to do it on this right now. Does anybody have any questions? Well, while I'm waiting to see if anybody has any questions, the other thing I'm going to tell you is that that sheet that I showed you where all the points were at, if you email us, again, concordwellness230@gmail, or you can do Dr. Sopchak, dr.sopchak at Hotmail, we'll send you that form with a breakdown of exactly what to do. So you'll have a sheet that you can look at and download, and you can have it for free. There's no charge for that. We'll be happy to send that to you. Just send us an email. If you forget the email, you go on to sopchakcairo.com and type in there's a space on there that says request an appointment, I think it says. Just click on that and send us a note there saying, hey, can you please send this to me? If you have any other questions, feel free to email me at either of those email addresses. Other than that, I hope that this is something that helped you a lot. Oh, somebody's got a question. And I'm always here to help out in any way I can. Can we go through this series together using stress from the virus? Sure. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to have you sit there for a second, and I want you to feel how bad that stress is from the virus. How much does it stress you out on a scale of 0 to 10? If 0 doesn't bother me at all, and 10 is I'm really messed up about this, how would you rate it? Okay, so let's start. We're going to start with the karate chops first, okay? And we're going to start with this sentence, even though I'm stressed about this virus. Or if you have another term that you want to use, you can do that. But let's start with, even though I'm stressed about this virus, I totally and completely accept myself. So here we go. Even though I'm stressed about this virus, I totally and completely accept myself. We're going to do this 3 times. Even though I'm stressed about this virus, I totally and completely accept myself. Even though I'm stressed about this virus, I totally and completely accept myself. Okay, so we know what the number was. Now we're going to start the tapping, okay? And we're going to say virus stress, okay? Virus stress. Virus stress. Move to the side of the eye. Virus stress. Virus stress. Under the eye. Virus stress. Virus stress. Under the nose. Virus stress. Virus stress. Under the lip. Virus stress. Virus stress. On the clavicle, right at the front. Virus stress. Virus stress. Under the arm. Virus stress. virus stress, and on top of the head, virus stress, virus stress. Okay, now take in that deep breath through your belly, not up in here. Ready? Here we go. Hold it and slowly blow it out. Close your eyes and okay. Now on a scale of 0 to 10, do you feel less stress? If you felt less stress, put your hand up on the, raise your hand on the screen for me. Great, okay. So now you have less stress about it, but you have to sit there and go, okay, what is my stress level now? Let's say you went from a 10 to a 7, okay? So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna start the whole sequence again, and we're gonna say, even though I'm still stressed about this virus, I totally and completely accept myself. Even though I'm still stressed about this virus, I totally and completely accept myself. Even though I'm still stressed about this virus, I totally and completely accept myself. At the top, still virus stressed, still virus stressed, still virus stressed under the eye, under the nose, still virus stressed, under the lip, still virus stressed, clavicle, still virus stressed, under the arm, still virus stressed, on top of the head, still virus stressed. Now, slow, deep breath in, hold it, and let it out. Okay, so hopefully it's even less now. So now what you can do is you can continue on. You can drop through that, and if you got down to a 5 and then you do it again, still, you're gonna do the same thing. Still virus stressed, even though I'm still stressed. Let's say you drop down to a 2 or 3 and you get stuck there. Maybe it's something else. Maybe you're not really stressed about the virus. Maybe you're worried about your family, or maybe you're worried about your finances. Maybe it needs to go a different way, and then you have to look at that and go, okay, I'm really worried about my finances. That might be what it is. So then on a scale of 0 to 10, how worried am I? Oh, it's an 8. Okay, so then you start all over, even though I'm worried about my finances. And you go through the financial worries, go through the, financial worries all through these spots at the top, and go through that again. Okay, so again, this can be used for so many different things. Again, we've used it with children. We've used it with, I had one of my staff who was afraid of heights. I mean, terribly, just so afraid of heights. I had her standing up on top of the roof of her house. It took us about 10 minutes, and we had her up on the roof of her house, and she wouldn't even stand up on top of a chair. So there's a lot of different ways you can use this. Again, check out the app, send us an email at dr.sopchak@hotmail, or concordwellness230@gmail. We'll be happy to send you the sheet. Look forward to talking to you again. God bless and have a great night.